Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Midjourney Fast Hours Podcast, episode 61. Happy Friday. Happy New Year to those that are still trying to get going. Because I think for about 2-3 weeks there, no one really knew what day it was. And full chaos ensued. Wasn't sure whether I should be working, sleeping. I have no idea.
Starting a new business, changing the world.
Starting a new... You just get over ambitious. Okay, so we are going to be taking your questions live today. We think we got this set up the right way. LinkedIn makes this way too complicated. I was just telling Rory, we had nothing makes you more nervous than going into managed streams and seeing two streams that look completely identical and hoping you pick the right one.
So, did we pick the right one?
I think we did. I think we picked the right one. So anxiety was at 100 there for a minute. We do got some people in the chat. What's up, everybody? Drop where you're from. And then this episode specifically is going to be revolving around your questions for us. And hopefully we're just going to have a real sort of cool conversation on the state of things. Yes, this is Midjourney focus, but we go beyond that. So for those of you that are joining and you don't regularly listen to the podcast, we always sort of tackle Midjourney, and then we kind of get into the bigger, broader bucket of the visual AI space. So image, video, we get into all the different models, some of the new releases, things that, should we be paying attention to this or not? Does this affect our workflow or not? That kind of thing. So it's good to see everybody here. Let us know where you're dialing in from. Dialing in. That sounds dialing so in. Old.
Can you see me? Is my screen working?
Yeah. Is this going to be recorded? I know that's coming. So this is recorded, and this is going to go live on the podcast here this weekend. But yeah, go ahead and start thinking of any questions that you have. Drop them in the chat. We've got the LinkedIn comment section open so I can see the questions. Rory, I don't know if you have that, so I'm happy to relay those questions, and we can just kind of tackle them from there.
I got to do Riverside window and then LinkedIn window and then mute and hope that we don't get the reverb and whatever else so I can see what's going on in here too. It's like a command center. I need two screens for this.
Command
do you have a two-screen setup?
I do, because I don't use two screens other than stuff just like this, because I would rather have like a small little screen where I can just focus. And if I got two big screens, it just takes my mind everywhere.
Exactly my thoughts. Chaos.
I knew you'd feel the same. And we've got, let's say hi to a couple of folks that familiar names here. Winston Mayo, what's up, dude? I think he's in ATL. We've got Spirit here, Lauren here, Chad here, Valerio here, Giovanna here, Alvaro here, Colleen. What's up, everybody? Happy to have you guys here. Thanks for joining.
We haven't done this in a long time. It's been like months, like maybe like 6 months, I think.
I think longer than that.
Has it been? Because our first one was this, wasn't it? It was just like, let's just do a LinkedIn Live, and then we'll just figure it out from there.
I think we did like 3 or 4 LinkedIn Lives, and then we were calling each other on the phone. We're like, we should probably just do a podcast, I guess.
Just talk about stuff. There's a lot to talk about. Luckily the industry grew into a podcast format where back then it was just like, let's just ramble about stuff. And now there's, we get something new and radical every 3 days. So we have a lot of content now, but
insane, dude. Insane. So why don't we jump right into it? We'll just kind of take this as they come in. Winston, great question right off the bat. David says new Midjourney will beat Nano Banana Pro. What do you think? I listened to part of the office hours, most of it. I don't know that he said that verbatim. My takeaway was he talked a lot about the edit model, and he just said that look, 6 months from now, that technology may be like archaic. But I do feel like he was saying he feels very bullish on what they're going to put together for Midjourney in terms of the edit model. When that comes, though, I think that's the biggest question, right? Because V8 for Midjourney and a new UI both coming here in the next month. And so that's going to change a lot of things already, right? We'll talk about sort of like what that means in terms of the jump. But the edit model, I don't think is going to be released at that same time. The way that I perceive that is that's going to be probably another couple months after that, right? So I don't know. I mean, we're talking about Google Nano Banana Pro right now. Are they going to have another model before then? Like they released Nano Banana and then Pro
2 months later.
2 months later. So we could be talking about something completely different by then. What's sort of your take on that? I'm not sure if you got a chance to sit on office hours or not, but just in general, like what's sort of going through your mind there?
I did not this week, and I was on calls, but I read the notes, and I always feel like I miss context when I read the notes versus listening to it live because I don't get to hear like the tone. Like remember when we were hearing like David's tone about stuff, and it was like he got real excited
100%.
about video, and like video was good, and like V7 just sounded like whatever we're releasing it, and then it was like a kind of like whatever. I mean it's good, but it was like whatever. So I don't really know. I mean this one, look, I'm starting to get the V8 sort of vibes that it was like, yeah, it'll be in December. Yeah, it'll be in January. Oh, it'll be here February. Then we'll get then it'll be like the launch off model to the next model, which was like the whole thing with V7. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to be great. And then it's like, oh, our data set sucks, but we're going to do it with the old data set anyway. And then, so, like, I don't know. Like, I hate to be like down on them, but it's like a wait and see approach for me. Like, I know that I'm not going to be like overly disappointed. I'm just not going to get overhyped on timing.
It does feel like, and it feels like a lot of people have started to jump ship for, probably a couple reasons. Like one, you have more options, like legitimate image gen models now out there. So that there's that. But then, now thinking about like just the capabilities that come with the edit model with Nano Banana Pro, like you're already going to spend more time outside of Midjourney just because you don't have that capability right now. I know for me, like I've spent far less time in there than I had prior, just because a lot of the things that I'm doing require me to use that type of technology. Once you have that, it's hard to sort of pretend like you don't, right? So, I mean, I think from that standpoint, somebody's asking, Andres asking, what's the best workflow? Start in MJ, edit Nano Banana Pro, or get it right in Banana Pro and bring it into MJ later?
Yeah. And then there's still things with like Midjourney, right? Like someone emailed me that took my course the other day, right? And they were like, I'm trying to get this image of a diver, like diving upside down, like down towards the bottom with like the surface at the top, and like Midjourney can't do it. I'm like, look, I mean, regardless, I got it on Midjourney in like the first try because I was just using negative prompting, which I think is like I said, I think it's one of my biggest predictions for 2026. It's just negative prompting, way more important. But I did it in Nano Banana in one click. Like in one, it was not even a problem. It's like, hey, can you do diver diving upside down, like towards the bottom, and enter, done. Like sometimes it's like simple things like that, which it sounds like with V8 there's going to be a lot more emphasis on control, and with that side of things. Which I mean, look, the aesthetic's good enough. Just give us control, right? Like I think that's important. The edit feature, like I'm starting to think more and more that has to do with like why Nano Banana and Reeve and Seadream and whatever are so good is because it's 4K output. Like you can just get more pixels in 4K, and that just works better for consistency. So I don't know if they mentioned anything about that, or like base resolution being upped. Because
I didn't hear anything about that. Actually.
That feels kind of like if I'm doing math, right? Like it's more pixels. That means more detail, right? Like that's like you can see the difference when you run Nano Banana at 1K versus 4K in terms of the detail, right? Like it's significant.
And I think that's really interesting with the resolution too, because depending on what you're going for, and this can be a trap. Like we talked about this before, you don't need to upscale everything. Depending on what you're trying to do, maybe you like that 1K look. If you're going for something that feels more UGC or taken with somebody's phone or candid photography, I'd rather go 1 or 2K than go 4K. It's going to be too crisp otherwise. It doesn't match the output that you're trying to achieve. So like there's also that component, but I think what you bring up is especially interesting because I use the 4K specifically when I know there's going to be a lot of text involved.
Text.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to run it up to 4K, especially the small text. Yeah.
Because it's just pixels, right? Like if you think about it, it's just you need more pixels to get smaller, fine detail like that. Which now I'm convinced was probably like the whole thing, like all along. It's like, why can't we get the perfect text? It's like, well, it's just the base resolution is not good enough, and the upscalers don't know what you're trying to do, so it just muddies it out, right? So it was like this weird workflow where you were trying to sort of Frankenstein stuff together, and it wasn't working the right way. But that's That's just my theory on it. I'm probably way off, but the text thing is interesting because I saw there was something on text on there as well. David, I feel like that was part of the notes. Was that?
That was
Yes.
yeah.
We'll be able to do text, but not paragraphs.
That's what they said. That's what they said. So I mean, I think that's fair. How much, and to what extent? Because I think like that. When I think about the text component, I really think the advantage there lies in sort of like that edit model component with the text.
Yeah.
Not just trying to get it straight out from the prompt itself, if that makes sense. But I'm just thinking about it like from that standpoint of text. Like I really didn't realize that I wanted that much text until I had Banana Pro, right? And then all those capabilities started flooding in. And there was that big difference between Nano Banana and Pro too, with sort of the amount of variables that you could also get right with the text, right? Like we've talked about this on past episodes where it's like I had a specific project with a lot of variables that I just couldn't do in Banana, and then Pro all of a sudden unlocks it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It would be really interesting to see though what Midjourney comes up with on the edit model side. That is really a big component of potentially bringing people back, keeping people there, and not jumping to different tools, right? Because I think a lot of us, to your point, Andres, are splitting tools across, probably a handful of different things right now. And so that's also another reason why like that sort of like node-based sort of thing also has been nice, because you don't need the subscriptions to 10 or 15 different, tools. Yeah. So I don't know.
The other thing with that, with the text, right? Like to me, it goes beyond like, oh, I want to have like text overlaid or like on products. It's like in your scenes, like if you're doing something in a city, right? Like I want the street signs to just say something, or like the business signs to not read like flabbergash, like, like just something random that I have to go in there and edit. Just like, if you do it in a lot of these other tools, it's just like, it's Marshalls or whatever on the on the street sign or on the store sign, right? Where it's just like, okay, that like fits. I don't have to go in there and like totally like manually edit and then play with it and degrade the quality and whatever. It's like simple things like that sometimes where it's really helpful, which I never even think about with Nano or Reeve or Seadream or whatever.
Somebody wanted to know what you think about Seadream 4.5.
If you want like a real opinion on it, I'm not as impressed with it as I was with 4. Like I like 4 more for some reasons. Like 4.5 doesn't seem to do what I ask as much as 4 did, even if there is like better. I don't even know if it's better aesthetics. Like personally, I just like I like version 4 better. I find I use it way less with 4.5. I actually use 4 a lot more, and 4 to me is one of the ones that can match like Midjourney's like artistic style fairly well. It gets the color down pretty accurately. Probably the closest one of the bunch for getting like Midjourney doesn't get a lot of credit for the color. Like the colors are great. Like it's really, and that's not saying it because we're stands. It's like try to go replicate some of your more intricate color work stuff somewhere else. It doesn't really work that well. So that's, to me, that's sort of where I use it. But 4.5, I've been underwhelmed with. I've been underwhelmed with Flux 2. I know I'm probably not using it at the level that some people are, but wasn't like, what it's like. If I have the choice between Flux or Nano, I'm like, well, why test to test? I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Nano. It's just like I know I can do it. So and yes, Winston, the new one messes up way more than 4. I don't know what it is. It really annoys the hell out of me because it looks good, but it's messes up product details. It messes up character details, and it's not nearly as consistent as 4 was. But what are you gonna do? There's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if you had any last thoughts there, but Spirit was asking too if you had used Runway 4.5 yet.
Yeah. Yes, I have. It's good. I mean, can you add an image yet? Like I haven't tried it since they haven't added, image to video, because text to video it works. It works, it's good. I'm just like, I don't have a use for text to video other than for playing around right now. Like I need some control on that stuff. Like video to me, I'm trying to as it gets more expensive, I'm sure everyone here knows this. Like, it's harder and harder to play than it used to. Where it's just like, oh, whatever. Like, I know what I'm getting. Now it's like I don't just go in there and like willy nilly go on video and just start running whatever I want to because, that's not. It's just I'm just wasting money now. So I'm like, I need to use it when I need to use it. But I do focus a lot on images now. I'm way more back to the image side than I was on the video side. But yeah, Runway 4.5, like I like it. It's just they don't have a use for it yet. But yeah, there's I feel like what they did with Nvidia, and I haven't even dug into it more, but I feel like that somehow is an important partnership. I just saw the headline, but it just feels important. Can't give you guys an expert opinion on it, but I don't know what. It feels like they're both on sort of that same path towards world building, and I think Runway sees it that way, and I think Nvidia sees it that way, and it feels like a good sort of partnership in that sense. Which, that's always been their focus. So I'm curious to see where that one goes. That was like a subtle drop, but like maybe a more intensive.
Boy, Runway's been quiet lately too, so you know they're up to something. And there was somebody else. I mean, the question too was just, are you starting mostly Midjourney? It seems like just based on the comments here, a lot of people are still using Midjourney for what they want base wise, and then moving it into Nano Banana Pro. I think that's mostly right. I think that's what a lot of us are doing. Just use case. Use cases are a little bit different, but I think like the default is probably that. Grok, we talked about last time too, as sort of like this sleeper in 2026. I mean, they've really ramped up a lot of what they're doing on the image and video side. It's gotten good quick. They were basic. I can't remember what exactly Grok was at this time last year, but I don't know. Did they have image and video at that time? I don't think so. No. Right. So just kind of like came out of nowhere, and I know they're going to continue to double down on that. So I think they're like a sleeper in this. Midjourney, I think that's why we're all here. We all want to see it take a big step for V8.
Yeah.
And, like with V8 specifically in office hours, it sounded like the data set's a little bit differently than they thought. They're going to have V8, which we'll get in the next month, and then they're going to have this really short period of time before they sort of like push into a second version of V8 or a V9. Because I think like just the way things shook out, they're really bullish on sort of like how big of an upgrade that's going to be. I'm just not sure it's all going to make it into V8.
Yeah, that again, I got confused with the like V8 is like a stepping stone to V9, and I'm like, is that just like a satisfactory release again? Like, just need to release.
Just kind of got me out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting
to like give us something, like, again, I'm sorry for feeling like down on this, but it's starting to become a pattern, right? Like, it's starting to become a pattern now. Seeing it was like V6, great. V7, starting to have some problems, some issues, timing, long waits, it'll be here in a couple days. Oh, training issue. It'll be here next month. Oh, training issue. It'll be here in 2 months. And we're just sitting here sort of fumbling. But, it's the aesthetic engine is number one. It's just missing certain things, and it's missing sort of like the edited thing that we talked about. I just want it to be good so bad, so I don't have to like totally ignore it right now. You know what I mean? Like at this, other than for my own playtime, which is sort of where I find myself, is like when I want to play now, that's where I go. Versus what it used to be was like it was everything. So feeling a little bit nostalgic.
I would say this too. Like, I mean, there are still some things that no other model is doing, right? Like, I still think the whole mood board thing that Midjourney has is better than anybody else is doing, in terms of like inside of a tool. Same with style references. Yes, you have tools that have style references, but I haven't seen any work as well as Midjourney, or be as variable, or have as many options, or be as flexible. I mean, you can literally do anything in there.
Yeah.
And then the personalization aspect. None of these other models have any sort of personalization. They don't know you from the next person that's using it. So I think there are like still some things in there that just overlook, right? And it's still why I think in a lot of ways we can gravitate toward Midjourney, especially on the creative side.
Yeah. I think Antonin made a good point over here with reverse prompting and JSONs. Like, that's where I've gone and had a lot of success with Nano, which is like you do have to do extra steps for doing style ref or like a mood board style, but it's very possible now. And then it's like you can lock in, like what I did with that Polaroid or the Kodak car that we showed a while back. Like that's a style reference and a mood board. Like that's a whole. That's basically JSON, like style extraction, computer code language to say like do this every time, right? So you can do it. It's just Midjourney makes it easy, and they do it the best for that quick, like very easy transition. But yeah, just personalization needs to improve because doesn't feel like it was last time. And I feel like I'm being the negative Nancy on this call, but like I am because
No.
You just if it wasn't so rapid paced everywhere else in the landscape, I wouldn't feel this way. But
just they're really the odd man because they're doing things completely different than anybody else. They're the sort of quote unquote outcast of this entire field, right? Everybody else has investor money coming in, right? Like they are raising, rounds with investors. Midjourney's not. There are pros to both sides, but one of the cons for Midjourney is they're just not going to be able to be as fast, as nimble because of the resource bottleneck that they have, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, right?
Like that's my question is like, if I still can't do editing in 6 months, like I can't use it. Like I just can't. Like there's no.
I think we're all gonna need that in 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't not do like. At this point, it's also like I feel like a father. So it's like let's go. Like step it up. Come on. It's time for some accountability. Time for some like let's move along here. Like, get it. Scrap the secret projects for now. Just like get a model out to the consumer that are feeding the secret projects, right? Like it's how you guys are getting money. You're not getting investor money. Like that's us. I'm paying yearly subscription fees and then overages in most cases. So it's like, yeah, just like I said, I'm being negative Nancy on this one. So that's my fault. It's just like New Year feeling like a little bit spicy right now. So just like it's all we want. It's not like I'm asking for
New Year, same bullshit, Rory.
Yeah. Not asking for a discount. I'm not asking for anything else. I'm just asking for an edit model that we can do.
We need the edit model yesterday. I mean, that is really, I think, standard now. That's table stakes at this
Kling
point.
has it. Like Kling has an edit model. Like Kling didn't have an image model 4 months ago. They have an edit model. It's like, what are you guys doing?
I will tell you this though. Okay, so somebody was asking too, like, and this is a good topic in general. What do you guys think about FreePik Spaces? I think there are more people, right, like playing with, almost like these canvas node-based interfaces because of scalability, client work, trying different tools that you don't have to subscribe to, all of that. I don't know that you or I have really tried FreePik Spaces in terms of like running anything, but we've poked around in there. I mean, we did highlight it on a past episode, but I think Rory and even for me, whenever I'm doing anything node based, it's pretty much just Weavy.
I've poked around in FreePik Spaces a lot. I think it's good. Look, there's a few things that I think would be better in there, but I like the interface. It feels like a more like a expansive version of Flora, but very similar, like simple UX UI in there to me at least. But I do like how you can edit in Node. Like that's one thing that's nice, like to use the image editor, or like the actual editing, like in and output, which is just like, oh, let me edit this whole thing, and then that can be the next like connection. Like that's one thing I really like. There isn't a lot of batch processing room in there. It feels very more so like a less workflow, more like individual project workflow than like scalable tool workflow. which you would do with Weavy and Comfy UI. But still, to me, it's like I like to create that way. Like I know some people don't, but I like seeing everything, like seeing like the branches, like seeing like my history essentially as we go through this stuff, and then testing, right? Like the testing the different tools to see like, oh, it's not working with this one. It's not working with Seadream. Let's try Nano, or let's try Quen, or let's try whatever.
Yeah.
Wish there would be a few more things in there, just like for my own personal stuff. But
FreePik's got to get it together with their servers. I mean, Nano Banana I could go on vacation and come back and I'm still waiting for images over there. I mean, it's really annoying for client work from that perspective. I don't know if it's faster when you do it in Spaces. I wouldn't think so. Maybe it is. But I've gotten to the point too where I have to just, hey, look, if I'm trying to do something quick, I'll go to Weavy and basically just trying to, get those images back much quicker than trying to do them in FreePik. I do think FreePik has the potential to be a really great platform now. I mean, they've got Spaces in there. I do like the interface. I think it's easy to move around. We did an episode too where we showcased all those sort of like product templates and all these things that they already have kind of baked in there. I haven't even really gone deep into that. Maybe we can kind of share too. Make this a little bit visual here. Let me see. So if I go here, AI suite. I mean, they've got this whole sort of like setup here, which I think if you're just getting started or you really want to dive into something, I mean, there's a lot of inspiration here. There's a lot of things that are already set up. I think this is, interesting.
they change it.
I do think they changed some of this.
There, like, I do have a little bit of confusion with when I'm in there sometimes. That's why I stick to Spaces. So, like, I know what's going on in Spaces. When I try to like navigate the rest of it, it seems very not clunky is not the right word, but sometimes I just get confused with like the naming conventions of everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but
the naming, I mean, that's the thing is,
yeah.
At this point, most of us are using several tools. It gets so confusing trying to master more than a few of these tools at any given time. I mean, it's just hard to navigate around. I mean, Midjourney, right? We've all spent so much time and it's like second nature, but all of a sudden you're going to switch to using FreePik Spaces, right? Like it's a whole different experience in learning. How many of those can you learn and navigate well?
Yeah.
I mean, 2, maybe 3.
So this was, I'm skipping around though on this point right here, but our friend over at Foul Lovis, he developed a Quen LoRa. That's the multi-camera angle LoRa.
Yes.
They built a Comfy UI node for it, where you just like click and drag the rotation or the tilt to like where exactly you want the camera to be. And it's like you see it happening in real time. I'm like, that's awesome. Like that's kind of what, I think we talked about this on the last episode too. Like, alter camera angle would be something that would be great as a, UX tool on Midjourney, where it's just, hit the button, let's go rotate 90 degrees or, tilt.
Exactly.
Degrees, whatever. That to me I just liked that application of it. There it is. Yeah. So like that was a fun one that I was like, this is just like people want this, obviously. Like you read the tea leaves, read the social, conversation. If we listen a little bit, it's like everyone likes this multi-angle thing. That's why we shoot. I guess that's why
it looked more precise too, right?
Yeah.
Like I was looking at it and it was just like you can actually, indicate degrees, right? Like where it's like, hey, change 20 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees.
Yeah. And it's definitely Quen is like I'm not going to say it's like the most precise when it comes to it. I'm just talking about like the feature in general, where it's like, this is cool. Like I like this. I want to use something like that. Right. It's like, that's sort of what we're thinking about when we're trying to compose a shot. Right. I mean, like that's sort of how my mind goes in that 3D space, but now there's like an option to do it, and you'll probably see, Higgsfield will have a tool next week for it.
Yes. God, Higgsfield's always got a tool. They just did something too with what is that? Cinematic.
What
do they call it? The Cinema
I got a hot take
Studio.
on Higgsfield now. It's there's too much. When I go in there, and not like I use the tool often, I use it maybe every once in a while to test their new features. But like, what is everything? there's so
I don't.
so much.
That's okay. So that's my point, right? It's like,
Yeah.
how many of these tools can you actually like navigate around well? I mean, it's just so. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm so overwhelmed. The naming convention. I mean, you throw Google on top of that. I'm getting billed for something from Google. I have no idea what I'm even being billed for at this point. I don't even know the names of the products at this point.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 different names for one thing, and then there's 10 different names of the same thing that do slightly different things. I'm so lost and over that. I feel like there's a consolidation effort that is inevitably coming across the board, but I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, Higgsfield's just building workflows and then wrapping them. Like, that's all it is. You know, that's if you can build that same thing in Spaces, you don't have to pay for Higgsfield. If you can build that in Weavy, you don't have to pay. You know, if you build it in Comfy, you don't have to pay. Higgsfield just makes it very easy for people to be like, this is exactly what you do with this exact thing, right?
Yes.
Which I think is probably a good marketing play, because most aren't doing that. It's mostly like, here, you have all the creative freedom you want, and again, no one really knows what to do with it, with all that freedom. So they've definitely hit something there, but they are, you know, God, it just annoy the hell out of me. But dude, it's like that's the one thing with, especially now, you're seeing it with. I think people are liking FreePik Spaces. I think they're liking Flora. I think they're liking Korea, Weavy. Weavy's a little bit more technical. Comfy's more technical than that. But it's a design space, you know? Like, I think the interface has always been something that's, to me, felt a little weird. You know, like, I never liked chat. Chat's the weirdest interface to me of all time to create images, right? It's just odd. Then, like, what Midjourney has to me feels like the most appropriate for like a studio store of like design studio. And then if it's like anything else, it's just like I just want to use like Canvas. It's just like what I'm used to with any of the design tools. But that's just me though. I'm wondering if someone's going to develop something new. Like Nodes feels very like the hot trend as to where things are going. I'm sure someone will develop something new this year. That's you know, cooler, a little bit more interactive. But that's I'm looking at there's a lot of activity going on in here in the comments section.
Yeah, I'm checking this. I'm trying to catch up because I was sharing my screen and I couldn't see it.
Let's see what we got here. We have professionals using FreePik Weavy, AI Spirit, AI video. It looks so fake and glossy at times. MJ Video makes a gritty photorealistic image into a CGI toy looking video. To me, like I'm also Spirit for this one. I'm starting to think this is resolution based also. Like I don't know if I'm correct on this theory, but I have a feeling that we get this plastic look because we just don't have enough micro detail in the pixels to get like my skin cracks and my beard stubble, right? Like I think that comes with resolution. So maybe the base outputs for videos starting to be like better. You know, from really 1080 is the biggest we've seen. I don't know if anyone does any video tool output at 4K base yet. I don't know, maybe, but
Any video tool?
I don't think so, right?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, there's probably some like open source models that we don't even know about. Someone on here is going to drop it in, like, yeah, you can generate Comfy UI, duh. You know, some under the radar Chinese model, you know, that we've never heard of. So.
Hey, I will say this. Shout out to Weavy. They don't charge you extra credits for running 4K Nano Banana Pro.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's.
Meanwhile, FreePik's over here charging you extra for the 4K, baby. Takes longer. Takes an hour.
I don't know if you saw this, but we might as well. I watched a 9-minute YouTube video on it the other day. It was like this whole Higgsfield controversy for their like unlimited promotion that they ran.
Okay, did you send that to me, or
I don't know, maybe
we just happened to watch? I think we just happened to watch the same video, but I know what you're talking about. Like they're banning people or something and like kicking them out of their accounts or something after.
It was like they sold Nano Banana Pro like unlimited for the year, and then people
And
started
so
using
did-
it. And they're like,
so did
"Oh, we're gonna kick
FreePik.
you all out."
Yeah, FreePik did like this thing where it was just like, yo, you're gonna get unlimited generations, and it wasn't even just for like 4K, in
Yeah.
relax mode. And then all of a sudden, like this pop up appears on FreePik, and it's like that ends February blank, and it's like, what, bro? Like, what are you talking about? That's not exact. That's nothing like what you were telling everybody it was.
And then they also started downgrading performance, and you had to like pay more money to up the speed. So it was like, oh yeah, you have unlimited, but now we're gonna strip the speed, so it's gonna be like a couple minutes per generation. You can pay to get it back up to normal speed though. I was like, this is so greasy. It's just like, can you guys just not? I mean, like I get it. People that are just like trying to bleed every dollar, but like, come on. It's so gross to me sometimes, some of this stuff.
That's wild.
Not straightforward. But
We got a question. Okay, Meg Ball's here. What's up, Meg? Asks, any specific tools help you guys keep AI exploration from turning into creative paralysis for teams? Biggest headache.
I need more context on what you mean by that.
That's what I'm saying. Meg, follow up with that. Curious what exactly you mean there.
Yeah. What do you mean, Meg?
Yeah, Meg.
We have creative paralysis all the time. Like I sit there and think about 70,000 ideas that I have that I can do now, and then I end up doing nothing.
That's the biggest. That hurts so bad. It just like that's the other thing. I think FOMO's at an all-time high when you're trying to keep up with this. You just see other people creating stuff and you're just like, oh, I'd like to try that, or I'd like to do something like that, or that gives me an idea. And then you look down at your list of other things that you already have to do, and you're just like, there's no way I'm going to have time to do that. Like, I'm just not. It sucks. I mean, like that part kills me because there's so many fun things to try. I do think, though, just word of advice, I don't know if X is a polarizing, platform. Maybe it is for some people in here, but I would highly recommend, if you're not on there, to get on there if you're trying to keep up with things and see great use cases and examples. LinkedIn is cool. It's got, there are some creators creating great stuff, including a lot of people here. But I just think in terms of like the volume, the variety, how novel the ideas are, seeing things in real time, like it's not going to be beaten on X. And I would just highly recommend staying up to date and saving use cases and examples and inspiration and things there.
It's less business focused. It's like more exploration and less like comment prompt for the whole workflow. Like I get if I see one more of those.
Instagram is so bad right now with that.
Oh my god, I get why everyone does it, but like you don't. If anyone's doing this, right? Like, good for you. Collecting emails and collecting different whatever you're giving away. Just don't do it every single post. It's really annoying. Like it looks really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not desperate, but it looks like it's just baity. It's like salesy. It's like way too. It just doesn't make you look authentic. So it's just again. I'm full of opinions today, dude. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, look, people are trying to make a living. I think some people though are legitimately gating just to get followers, and I'm just like, that is so dumb.
Yeah.
People are going to get tired of you very quickly. Yeah. And I think like the other part is with X, you're not getting that. Just people just sharing things and giving, right? Yeah. Which is a lot of, the mentality that you and I have with most of it. I can count maybe on one hand how many times I've gated something on LinkedIn. And there are perks. You do get followers. Yeah. You can put somebody into a nurture campaign and, try to upsell them on this and that and the other. But guess what? You're going to spend a whole day responding to DMs, sending links, and for what? And you're probably eroding trust along the way. You keep doing that. So I don't know. It's not worth it. Instagram's just so bad right now. Like literally,
you can do it with ManyChat. That's why you can just have it be auto.
Yes,
so like
yes, it's more automated. Yeah,
like with LinkedIn, do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying don't do it every single post. Like every single post when it's like that, it's really annoying, and it's just obviously that it becomes like you obviously can't have something good every single post to give away, right? Like or that you're just not giving anything away. You're probably not giving something good away if you're giving something away every post. So like whatever. The other thing about X that I will say with that is that because LinkedIn doesn't seem to update the platform ever in terms of like the creator side of it, like X, you can go deeper on the threads. Like you can just explain more and explore more. Like I can do a video and then I can do an image, or I can attach a few things and put a description. It's like a much easier format to follow than sometimes LinkedIn. Like I have to like double stack videos to do an explanation and show an output at the same time. Like it's a really
there's no multimodal.
No.
Like you can't do a video and stills. It's just I don't know.
Yeah. But the also Jordan to say to follow up on your point there, I don't think it's much about gating as it is about increasing engagement and boosting the algo. It does do that. I'm just saying from like a strategy standpoint in building a personal brand or getting business, like to me, that stuff is not long term. That's not viable. Like it's really. You can if you're doing it once a week, good. If you're doing it 7 times a week, it's like so cheesy and looks so like to me personally.
What it better be worth it, okay? Because if it ain't worth it, guess what? People are gonna hate you. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, and this is like the marketer's perspective. Should we gate this content? Should we not?
Yeah,
I think most of the time it's no. But if you are, that shit better be worth it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we got people over here gating prompts that are very specific to something. It's like, why do I need that? Why would I need that? You know what I mean? Like I could literally take a screenshot of that image right now, drop it in a custom GPT, or take it over to FreePik, and I'm going to get something that's pretty damn close to what you just got. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I also do think that's pretty underrated right now. If you guys are trying to do things at scale, right? It is not scalable to come up with prompts one by one in this format with clients. You need a way to scale that out. So that's either through, a node-based tool where you've got like the system prompt, or you're dropping something in. Like it's incredible how well that like custom GPT of describing images is held up. I mean, I still use it all the time. Yeah. I can take exact examples, tell it how, dial in how close I want to get to that output. That works well for clients too, because then all of a sudden I'm just dropping something in and I'm getting something back, and I don't have to expend any mental energy in trying to come up with that prompt, right? Just iterate.
That's important. I think the other thing, just to not to blow past that, but I saw a comment on here from Vesica. It says, how do you suggest we deal with our intense dislike of X? There's one thing I've done, Vesica, which is, I don't know if it's helpful or not. If you don't want to use X, don't use X. But it was like I created one like burner account that is only AI. I only follow people in AI, and it's the bubble. That's what I call it. It's like there's nothing else. There's no politics. There's no anything. It's just AI content. So it's like I can just switch to that one and get rid of all the noise, and it's just AI stuff. I have that one like that for Instagram also, where I only follow AI stuff, so my whole feed is AI. So that's like that's just one way I think to do it a little bit. If you don't like X, I don't have another better suggestion, but that's sort of one way to get around that. But yeah, there's this. I don't know why I'm on one today. I got to stop.
You are on one.
I'm sorry. It's new year. There's a. I've been like thinking. I had too much time to think.
Dude, that's you're still pissed about that Stranger Things episode 9 not coming.
That was
Jesus.
I was just so invested in like the online sort of forensic psychology, or the forensic like.
I haven't seen that much digging since Game of Thrones. Like nuts. Where people just have all these theories of what's going on and what's going to happen, and
I just like the level of detail people go into. Like that was like I could never do that, but like people going through and breaking the show down like frame by frame, like for like every episode of every season. Like like you guys are obsessed, but I'm interested in your obsession. You know what I mean? Like that was an impressive. And then Netflix sort of like fed into it, which I thought was like, is this like, you know, you're like gaslighting like real hard this whole community. But yeah, there's like, you know, there was some really interesting stuff I saw done with AI, like people redoing the final with AI. Like, and it was actually not bad, you know,
Yeah.
like Demogorgon wars and stuff. I'm like, all right, you know, fan fiction. I don't know. Speaking of that, did you see the Star Wars sort of rendition that was done with AI recently? I thought it went pretty viral. It was,
I don't know that I've seen
really
that
good.
one. I don't know that I've seen that one.
I thought it was excellent from a voice matching, face matching, like aesthetic matching. I thought it was very good. But there was that one to me. If I can find it here, I'll send it to you. But that one was pretty like eye opening to me. It's like, oh,
Rory, somebody
doesn't look right.
somebody wants to know if I think it's Alanka. She wants to know if Quen is in Weavy. Do you know that offhand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Quinn's in there. Also, this is just a fun trick. Let me pull this up for you, just in case anyone here is using Weavy and you don't know how to get some models that you're interested in trying in there. Like this is, I'll share my screen. Like if you ever want to add a model that you don't see in there, like if you're in Weavy, right? I need to minimize this. Sorry. This needs to go up here. But let's just create a new file, right? If you want to import something, like you can go to File, and there's obviously like a ton of models here that you can pull in depending on what you want to do. But like, you know, let's just say you wanted Quen, whatever. Say we wanted to do this, right? If this one's not in there yet, if you go into the page for it, this copy link here, you copy this, and then you can go. I don't know if this one's going to work or not, but if you right click and you do import model, and then just paste that link, typically it comes up, right? See, this one's not ready for Weavy yet, but if you were to go to, you know, let's just say one of these other Quen ones.
How do you know if it's ready for Weavy?
See how the input just says negative prompt?
Okay.
Like it's not, like it hasn't been adapted yet. They do a good job over there of getting a lot of this stuff in there. But like if there's, you know, Quen image edit this, like let's just see if this one works. If I go in here, and probably because we're doing this live, it won't work. But I import model, paste, right? There you go. So now if this model wasn't listed over here, you can bring it in. So that's just a little hack to you can do this with Fal, replicate, forget which other one. Which other one can you do here? Import model or Civit. You can do from replicate, Fal, or Civit AI. So that's just a
that's dope. I didn't know that.
That's sometimes, you know, sometimes they're not in there immediately. They do pretty good with getting stuff in there relatively quick, but that's one way to do it. What other questions we have? I feel like I'm missing so much in this chat. There's so much going on. You guys are awesome right now.
Yeah, let's see what we got. Are people still using LoRAs? Does it hold space in AI at this point?
I think for really technical uses, yes. You know, I think if you're trying to get by on a day-to-day and you don't need like immaculate precision with immaculate sort of use cases, I don't think you necessarily need one. But I'd say for depending on how, like I think when you're looking at things like utilizing this stuff for, you know, training your own models and utilizing stuff on, you know, local hardware so that you can get around a lot of the cloud stuff and not having to worry about the legal things. And there's a lot of, like, nuance to it, which I still think LoRa's probably have a really good space for. But like if I just need 5 photos of my skincare product in different angles, like I'm going to Nano for that. There's no reason to waste all that time.
Yeah, agree.
LoRa. So, yeah, that's, again, these are just my feelings on the matter. I'm sure a lot of people love LoRa's. And, you know, there's a lot of uses for them. But just sort of depends on what you're doing.
Depends on the use case. And again, like it's I think we're at a point too where you're trying to do everything that you can in just a select number of tools. You're either doing that or you've got to be operating into a canvas that has all the tools aggregated in it. Otherwise, just kind of hopping around to different platforms is just too overwhelming at this point. So I think, like, again, from that standpoint, LoRAs, I'm not going to go to a different tool or platform just to accomplish that unless I really had to.
Yeah, I get that. We have so much going on in here.
Which GPT? I'm way behind on the comments. I'm like 6 minutes behind on the comments, so I can't see. I just got Jordan's question about which GPT drew. So you may have to sort of like take that over, right. But I would say, Jordan, so I can share it. Maybe I'll send it as a comment here in the chat.
Let's see if we have. I'm trying to figure out where. God, you guys are awesome. Like I don't mean to say this like 3 times. There's like a lot of good combos going on in here. Let's see. Let's go. Let's just start at the bottom here. There's so much going on. Who in here lost their Magnific credits? I got a lovely Kristen. Lost over 14,000 credits. Hold on.
What?
Let's go. Let's all go check these Magnific credits and see if they're still there.
I checked mine, but I will tell you, I got Magnific year plan half off last year, and I completely forgot about it. And then this year I paid full price, and I was like, yeah. Damn it.
That definitely happened. I did that with a lot of tools, like Black Friday last year. Like Minimax, I was like, oh, what? Why is there such a big charge here? And then it was like, oh, oops. Didn't see that one coming. Forgot about it. Let's see. Where is my account now? Oh, this might not be good. Uh-oh.
Newbies don't know, so they fall for the comment trap. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
This isn't looking... My Magnific account. This one got me a little nervous.
Uh-oh. Rory's credits.
So many credits to keep track of.
Did you get swiped?
I hope not. Let's see.
Are Magnific credits the new Bitcoin? People just come in and take them?
I mean, I could see some of that stuff happening with like. Have you seen like the amount of money people are spending on Claude? Not while I'm looking at this. This is just like a very random. This is a very random thought. Have you seen on X how much people are spending on Claude Code? Like
no.
I've seen someone that was like, it was like their bill was like $200,000 already. I was it hasn't even been out that long. What? You spent $200,000 on Claude Code, but with Claude, I got rate limited pretty hard the other day. I was like, this is like maybe 25 messages, and it was like you've used all of your credits. I'm like, what? Like, what are we talking about? This is the first time I've used it. Like my month started like 4 days ago. I haven't even used it. So I don't know what that was about, but maybe, I don't know if Opus is more expensive. If someone in the comments knows the deal with that, that was like very shocking to me that I had already reached my rate limit after like 25 messages. But some of the Claude Code stuff I've seen has been pretty awesome.
Wild. Yeah, Claude Code is sick. I need to spend more time in there. Another thing I need to spend more time doing. The other thing is, Vivian brought up FreePik just released Variations. I just clicked on that link, opened that up. I don't know anything about this. I hadn't even seen this. So
what is it?
This is one visual is all you need to create complete narratives, turn a single image into multiple frames, build a storyboard. Okay, animated to. Okay, so I think, this just happened today. That's why.
What is it though?
So turn a single image into multiple frames, build a storyboard, and animate it into a full video. Okay, but I don't know if that's one tool or if this. So here's what I click when it brings me up to it, right? So I'm seeing this under tools in FreePik, and it says variations, skin enhancer, image upscaler, background mover, mockup, change camera, and lip sync.
Huh. So it's doing stuff like Higgsfield is?
I don't know. But if I click this, what do we... Okay. Hold
on. Trying to navigate.
All
right, let's look now.
Let's take a look at something here. See if I have like a good example.
Try to keep up with some of these comments now.
All right, let's just bring this up. So use this image. So this is, let's see what happens here.
Astrid's asking also, here's a good one. How much do you guys spend a month on credits and licenses?
Oh my God.
Like a full-time salary, unfortunately. I would say even just between Google and now I'm going to definitely, I think I'm going to roll back on my ChatGPT one, which I do have the 200.
Are you still doing that?
One.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I use it. The thing is, I have, it's so, it feels like with ChatGPT now, this is just my own sort of like analysis of it. Feels like when you've been using Mac for so long that it knows all of your stuff and everything's connected and it's hard to get off of it. Like all my project folders and my GPTs and everything.
I know, dude.
It's
I know.
like harder to migrate than it is to stay on. So
That's
it's
the
like,
thing.
it's like between those two at the $400 a month range, I think between both of those. And then Weavy really is like my only other one right now. I think the other ones I pay for Kling, Suno, pay for what else? Claude. I'm probably in like a $700-800 a month range on this stuff if I had to guess. Like between everything and then like the overages and on the credits and stuff like that. But again, it is my full-time job, so it's like this is like my whole life is this stuff. So it's would I like to trim that down? Yes. Do I often? Another thing that I do pretty often is like subscribe to something and then unsubscribe and then resubscribe and then unsubscribe. Like when something
I've
new
been doing that
drops,
too. Yeah.
it's like been easier to do that, to like test stuff and then just like drop off so I don't forget about it. Or just like, unsubscribe and take the new promotion, whatever it is. Because that's definitely a thing. Like Higgsfield, I do that a lot. Sorry, Higgsfield.
Okay, so here we go. I mean,
What's it doing, by the way?
so I'm changing the camera angle. So you see this, rotate. So I can rotate this any way I want.
Uh-huh.
And change the verticality of it. So let's go. Dang, I wonder if it can't do that on a floor. But we could try.
Guessing this is using Gwen.
That's what I was thinking. Interesting.
Not bad.
Details off though.
Yeah, that's a pretty minimalist product too. That's not
Right. So this is the thing, right, guys? Like, and this is where it really is tough for us because this stuff is all fun. Now, when you have deadlines or projects that you're working with, which I'm sure a lot of you maybe do, it's a totally different standard of what we're trying to accomplish here. I mean, these things got to be on point. I mean, this one, okay, glare maybe a little bit too strong. That's not bad, but you get some, I don't know, just like where are all the details on the floor here? Let's see if that's the same throughout. Are we shooting this we are shooting at this at a low aperture, so maybe that's believable. I don't know. This is interesting though. I'm glad you dropped this. This is worth exploring and playing around with 100%. Interested, like very interesting too that it just kind of throws it in there. You have no idea what model this is or anything about it.
I think that's the idea. What's the token cost or the credit cost on that?
It says unlimited.
Really?
That's what it says.
All right. I mean, I never know. Like, what's weird is that sometimes the stuff it's like starts unlimited and then like it just disappears. Like I feel like that was with FreePik Spaces. I was like, oh yeah, using Nano Banana for free, and then it was just gone.
Just gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it was gone. But how? I mean, obviously it's a promotion. I get it. But
okay, so there's that, and then they're just coupling this with all these other things in here. I mean, image upscaler they're using Magnific for. Skin enhancer, maybe that's the same thing.
Skin enhancer.
I wonder if they're using Magnific for that too. It looks like
Magnific.
Yes, sharpen and smart grain. That's what they got in Magnific. Variations. I don't know. This looks super interesting. Have to play around with it.
Can you use Magnific in FreePik like the way you can use Magnific in Magnific? Like with the sliders and like all the models and things like that?
You can. Yeah, you can. I haven't really done it that much. So like right here.
The last time I used Spaces, I could only use like just like select precision upscale or creative upscale, and like that was it. but it's been a while since I've been there. Okay, so you can use. All right, so you can use it this way, but I don't know if you can use it. Can you?
Now this
can you
is
go to
not the full though.
No.
This is just a classic. So this is not precision. This is not precision in here.
So there's the creative upscale and the precision upscale, but it doesn't have it on there with the model drop down. Huh. See, this is what, again, not blasting everyone. It feels weird sometimes. It like doesn't FreePik own Magnific. Like, do you want to have like all the capabilities there? Like I don't. That one's.
It's not new either. It's not new.
Yeah.
To me, like this is a perfect example. Is even though they got that, it's like, well, if you don't have everything in there, I'm just going to go to Magnific's website.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm FreePik, I want to make that feel as seamless as possible to the real experience where no one leaves the platform. Period.
Yeah. This is, again, guys, I promise I'm not on one. Like I'm not just sitting here complaining about stuff. It's just maybe it's our time because everyone's asking the right questions. That it's like these are all bringing up all the things that are like deal with every day. Like this one, I remember specifically. Like why can't I use like some of the other features from Magnific in here? Same thing with Mystic, right? Where it's because I like Mystic. Like I feel like Mystic is underappreciated, but to me it's a good image model. Like I like Mystic a lot.
It's not bad. It's really not bad.
And it can get, again, from the base generation side of things, it gets really solid resolution.
They got Reeve in here too. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, Reeve. Reeve has an API, but I don't feel like a lot of people have it. Like Weavy has it. Obviously FreePik has it. I don't know if LoRA has it or not, but Reeve's solid. Another good one. So much. But let's see. Let me see what else here. See what other questions we have. Spirit's got the right mindset over here with Black Friday. Typically, those are the best deals for everything. That's basically what all my tools re-up. is right around then.
I mean, it seems like every year I just get closer and closer where I'm just like writing a list of things that I'm just going to wait until Black Friday and then I'm just going to literally drop 10K.
But a lot of them have been like, like Perplexity got me with like, you need to like, you're not grandfathered in anymore. Same thing with Minimax did that, or Hailua did that last year. They're like, you're not grandfathered in anymore on this awesome deal. Kling honored it. So Kling, shout out, same price as last year. Didn't have to be like, oh, the models are better. It's not like when I got that notice from my health insurance company during COVID, it's like, due to the rising cost of hospitalizations this year, we have to raise your health insurance. I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks. Like, what does that have to do with me? Like, that's
nothing.
The company that I don't feel bad for at all, is my health insurance company who's just raking in the cash off of us. But again, not to get political on here, but there's have you been playing around with hold on, what did I want to, there was one, let me pull up my X saved post. There was something that I saw here that I wanted to bring up while we have like a little lull in the action here.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's so many things I've just got saved where I'm like, oh, I want to try that. Oh, I want to see if I can make that work for this. And it's just like, man, I'd run out of time.
I was playing around with some of the 3D stuff the other day to see if I could get it to work. It was really cool. I was building like little with Hunyan. I was actually doing some stuff in Comfy, but was doing some 3D characters. And it's amazing how fast you can rig some of this stuff. Like I feel like that was, again, I know nothing about 3D, but I was looking at how I could auto rig some of these things so you can just use like a basically standard motion to it. I feel like that's where things are going this year, right? Like I feel like there's going to be a lot more 3D. Like we're seeing a lot more of the applications start to pop up. And it's fun as hell. Like, remember when Midjourney was like, we're going to do 3D, and then like that just disappeared.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. I almost forgot about it.
Just another add to the list. Just another one, another idea. But it feels like that's the next sort of horizon, I guess, to conquer is the 3D space because it's super hard. It's super technical, and it's like I get why it's so hard. Even working on some of the things for projects for clients within the VFX CGI space, it's like, all right, this is super complex. you guys are really damn good at what you do. But yeah, no one, what's Winston say here? No one talks about Hunyan, Genmo, Juan Meshi. Yeah, I mean, I've in Weavy, which I think is one of the the better things about it is the being able to generate a 3D model and then use it in the compositor to sort of like stage what you're trying to do. Rodin in there, Rodin, however you pronounce it, Trellis. Those sort of like they're pretty damn good at getting something usable, and at least like for a reference image for Nano Banana, right, or anything else that you're going to utilize there. It's a good one. Have you guys worked with any 3D AI projects? If yes, what have your experience been? Like, it's tough. Like, I've been doing some stuff in the CGI VFX space. The precision is what's important. It's also like the scale and sizing of everything starts to get like when you're doing stuff with AI, like it just, especially with products, it's like not true. So, it's tough. Like you can see why there's a hole there and why there's a need for more products. But certain things, like we've been able to do some cool stuff with, I wouldn't say it was specifically 3D, more CGI VFX, but like depth maps, different things with like lighting and halation and stuff like that, where we're extracting frames from like real videos and then changing them with nano and then doing them with, basically like restylizing them with Kling to then like lay. It's a very meticulous process to get there, but like you can get there. So it's, I feel like there's someone that's just missing an opportunity with some of this stuff to build a product. But yeah, it's kind of like how it feels like how we used to have to do like consistent characters, like how many like hoops and like how many steps and hoops we had to do to sort of get like one face to transfer. That's sort of where it feels like now. But
dude, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Just the 3D stuff for fun though, like to build like little characters and like auto rig them and like, apply some motion to them. Yeah, like that stuff's fun, but like I'm feeling like for real full scale 3D projects, it's pretty intense still.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, we're getting closer to there being more real world application of bringing AI creations to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is also exciting, right? Like right now, for example, it's like, okay, we could create cool images. Maybe we create merch, right? Like with images that we created, maybe we can, 3D print something, blah, blah, blah. But I think like as the technology continues to grow, we're going to be able to turn these into, from idea to real things. And I think that's exciting too, just as a creator in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna move into world building probably this year. I mean, the rate that everything's going, like we're going to be able to construct stuff, I would guess. I mean, you can already go to a lot of these 3D tools like Trellis or Tencent or whatever, and just it's text to 3D model. You can just like plant, boom, there it is, and like you can go and place that in a space. But I still think you need to use like 3D software to actually like place and structure.
Yeah,
and like go in there.
Yeah, we're not there.
That's where it's going because But Meg responded to us. Do you see that one? Delayed reaction to the question, but we're making way more stuff than ever, but deciding is the hard part. Any tools helping with curation or approvals beyond chat or feedback loops?
I mean,
great question.
I don't know if this is answering the question, but I think it's getting on the same page with maybe it's something as simple as visual guidelines, campaign guidelines, right? It's like then holding yourself accountable to those things. Because I think what you have to do is remove some of the bias when it comes to decision making, because everything's subjective, right? If there's 10 of us sitting in a room, we're trying to decide which image we like best, right? Like we may have 10 totally different images or opinions about which one is best. But I think if we've got some sort of anchor in how we're making that decision becomes easier, becomes more clear. So I think it's something to do with that, right? And I don't know what the setup or any of the context beyond that. But I think just from like a framework and a model perspective, that's the way that I would look at it.
There's never been like a stronger need for clear and firm direction, Meg. That's what I've been experiencing. It's like someone needs to be decisive and someone needs to actually like drive the vision of the creatives to get to a certain point that is very locked in and sort of. I think the creative ADD is hitting the corporate side now too, because everyone knows you can do more and you can do more fast. So it's like, well, let's just see this. Let's just see this. How about this? What about if we did this? It's like someone needs to. It's like we need like a very strict strategy or like a strict operating sort of process to like get to an end result so that we can like eliminate decision paralysis, because I think that's a big one. The other thing is you might want to build a little not an LLM, but like a little either custom GPT or a Gemini gem, or like maybe a few agents that you run it past to sort of like set some credentials and see like which ones are going to work the best. That stuff I did with the other thing too, that I did recently on Weavy was create that whole sort of like visual forensics sheet, like that visual forensics workflow with a bunch of different things. Meg, that might be helpful too. Just like let it analyze and just pick the winner. Because if you're trying to hit certain things, like which one's got the, from a visual heat mapping standpoint, like all the different types of analytics that can come with that stuff. Setting some guidelines and standards there. Now I'm getting really technical, but that's sort of some things that we could do.
Yeah, you need. That's what I'm saying. Is I think you need some sort of unbiased, party or entity or thing that is guiding the decision to help.
Yeah,
right.
Or it's like you got to set like guardrails. That there's got to be like, we do this 5 times, that's it. Like we can't keep going, or else you will. Like that's I've done this.
You definitely will. Yeah, I felt that pain too. I think so one of my bigger clients, we have a visual identity toolkit, which is an entire doc, right? So I hypothetically could take pieces or all that knowledge and then leverage every decision I'm making with that. Right. And I think that same thing is true with any of the campaigns that we do. So it's all the do's, it's all the don'ts, right? It's all the subjective nature of personality, blah, blah, blah. But again, that gives us something to fall back on. And, depending on mood, right, our decision doesn't change, right? You could wake up and feel totally different about something one day than you do the next. This gives us something that is, static, but dynamic in the sense that we can update it, but at the same time is firm. Right. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. It's like you need like a whole operating guide for decision making. Like you do. Like it's just something that has to be like a common agreed upon thing so that you don't get stuck in that loop. Because you just keep going. And then you find something else that you did that was cool, and then it's like, oh, we could do that. That's also cool. And then, most of the time things are too open ended, but there's hold on.
Here's a good question for you, Rory.
What do you got?
Okay, so Astrid's got a good one. As a camera woman in real life, I've done lots of picture gen. Starting on video now, do you have any tips? Is there a good workflow in Weavy, which I really enjoy?
Probably have one I could set. I'd have to look for it, though, for video.
But tips for video in general. Let's step back here too, because I think I still, in some ways, Astrid can feel this time to time, because I always go towards stills. I do some video, but there are some things that overlap, right? I think like finding a structure for your prompting or some sort of like foundation is important, right? So like if you figure out how certain tools like to prompt or how you like to prompt and what gives you the ultimate coherence and output that you want, bottle that up, feed everything through that, you're starting to get more consistent results. Now, with you having the expertise in that, I think that's really going to help you. I think you really just need to figure out how the technology is going to interpret what you're trying to say. I think, just because I've got a photography background, it was really just about me trying to figure out how a tool like Midjourney works. And then all of a sudden that unlocks all the expertise, right? So I think it's more or less that, at least in my opinion. Now, Rory has done a lot of videos, so maybe he's got a different answer there.
Yeah, I would say the stills are equally as important here. because everything's working off. It's a different mindset, right? Like you're going off of your image to then start a generation most of the time, unless you're doing text to image. Like a lot of things that can help in that. Like I've sort of said this, gone over this in the podcast before, but there's like when you're doing any sort of motion, right? Like sometimes it's easier if the still already has motion baked in. It's like it's easier for the tools to pick it up, right? If you have someone walking, like having them walking already in stride in the image to start is a much easier sort of transition for it than having someone just standing facing the camera and saying like have them walk right, so they have to turn right and then walk, unless that's what exactly you're trying to do. So if you think about it too, like like breaking the fourth wall kind of thing, where it's you don't want anyone staring at the camera because that's not how video typically works, right? Like starting off with images like that so you don't have to worry about prompting out of it. Things in motion you want to have, like, oftentimes it's good to have motion blur in like the images, right? So if you have like a car driving, if you have freeze motion on the car and the rims are static and the entire background is static, like sometimes the car will just like sort of either drive backwards or sort of skid. It won't. There's a lot of different variables to it, but I would say in prompting, just in general, if you're getting started, if you're starting with image, like image is your start point, your start frame, and then you're going to write a prompt. Most of the aesthetic is baked in, right? If you think about it that way. So the lighting is kind of baked in already. The colors are baked in. You don't really have to prompt for that stuff. So the X factors there are what's the motion? Like, what's the camera motion? What sort of shot are you doing? What direction is that going? What direction or what, is your subject doing? And then what is interacting? I like the interaction piece is variable, but like sometimes it can help with a lot, like, woman enters a room and the light shines on, hits her left side of her face, right? Like instead of just going and say, like, a lot of times your video is just making up off the still frame. It's like got constrictions to it. So there's so many different variables with video. It's really hard to systematize, but I typically get away with camera motion, subject action, and then sort of any sort of environmental interaction that's going on. Like this happens here, or people are moving. Like if you have a crowded scene, like I love to put simple things like, like ambient motion of the people in the background. So like it doesn't just like keep people static, like they're moving. You can like get a little bit of extra life into stuff like that, or it really just depends on what you're doing. There's so much. And then
honestly, if you're coming into video now too, it's kind of a good time, really. Yeah. I mean, like it's gotten so much better than it used to be. The physics part of it has gotten so much better. I mean, that was a mess for a long time. So I don't know that you would have been loving that, but I think like the effort to get good outputs now is a little bit easier. So I think with your expertise too and playing around, you're going to have fun.
Yeah. The other thing too to play around with, which could be fun for you, Astrid, is keyframes. VO3 has it. Kling has it. Most of them have it. Just a start frame, end frame. Like sometimes it's easier just to figure out how this stuff works. It's like, oh, I wanted the image to start here and end here. And then you prompt for what happens in the middle, right? So it's sort of a way for more control, but also a way to kind of like not get as many random outcomes as you could on the other side. I tend to like it. It works fairly. You get a lot more consistency that way from like if it's a picture of me here and then like a picture of me back here. It's going to keep me consistent because it has both context of start and end. So that's just one. It's another like little piece to it. But to me, that's a good one to start working on. What else do we have here?
Let's see if we have any. I'm looking through for motion capture. Who you think is best? Runway, Kling, smaller specialty companies. Feels like Kling is the winner at the moment.
Sorry, what was the question? I missed that one.
Well, I think depending on use case. For motion capture, who do you think is best? Runway, Kling, or the smaller specialty? I think you got to throw VO in there as well. But I mean, I've been pretty impressed with Kling.
Yeah, motion capture, meaning like the input video of me talking motion capture, or just like.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because the Kling's pretty good. I mean, I like
it. It is. Yeah, it is.
Like I like Kling's new. I feel like Juan also is pretty good with that stuff. A little bit more, I think, complicated to use than Kling makes it, but Kling makes it pretty simple to do it. So I would say I'm probably leaning towards that one. I don't know if you. Have you ever tried one, Drew? There's
I don't know that I don't know that I have tried one. I've tried. I mean, no, I haven't. I've played around with. I've played around with most of them. Mini. I mean, I'm kind of surprised. Like, is Minimax been doing nothing? I mean, there was a period of time where they were right near the top with a lot of the stuff that they were doing. I don't know what's going on over there.
I think they got a lot of hardcore fans like Midjourney. I think there's like Midjourney or like Minimax Lite.
Are there?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I think Kling and VO3 right now are pretty unmatched. I mean, again, just depends on the use case, right? Like,
Totally. Oh, here's a good question. Or from Vivian, are you still feeling that old school creative muse that started back with MJ when back with MJ then, or are FOMO, non-stop updates, monetization, and efficiency
that's a
kind of
great
murdering
question.
the vibe?
Damn.
Awesome question. So, you want to take that one? Because
I mean, I kind of feel like a little bit of the latter. I mean,
yeah.
how much time do you have on your how much time do you have on your hands? Because when you're busy and then you see the other updates and everything that everybody else is pushing out, and you see the it definitely consumes, right? Like, I was just thinking about this yesterday, and I think what you have to remember is there are a lot of people in this space, right? If you're watching one particular person, it's a lot different than if you're watching a whole, echo chamber of people dropping all these cool use case applications. Those are individual people. Not everybody has no one has infinite time on their hands. So maybe those people throw out a couple updates a week. Maybe they throw out an update a day. I try to like level set myself that way too, because I haven't been creating as much. I've been doing a lot more just work in this space. And so I haven't been creating as much content. That does give me FOMO. Haven't been doing as many creative projects lately. Also gives me FOMO. I also know that I have to have time to create, to stay passionate about this space, right? So times when there are no expectations, I don't have a brief, right? So I think it's almost like finding a way to separate exploration time from production time. And that's the way I've been trying to think about it, and trying to hold yourself accountable to both those things. I totally feel like the latter is the case, though. FOMO, nonstop updates, monetization, efficiency, kind of murdering the vibe. I mean, there's so many things I want to do, and it doesn't help when you have sort of like the ADD brain, like us did, like both of us do. Like you said before we hopped on, is like when you get a little bit of extra time, then you're like, oh man, do I want to like start a different like side hustle? You like start going down these, dude. I mean, like staying in these like lanes. I mean, it's hard, man. It's very hard.
I think with this one, like I felt like the non-spark 3 months ago, probably, when I was so busy and it was all like just get this stuff done versus like have any time to play, which I don't know how anyone survives without playing, right? Like you got to be able to do, like, I'm not going to go my full 100% on things that I'm just like trying to execute on for efficiency versus like something I really want to do to figure out like a creative vision. So, I think I like needed this break over the holiday to like just be like, okay, I can just do what I want. Like, I'm happy I created this little thing on Lovable. It's like I never have time to just like vibe code, and I was like, let me vibe code on Lovable and just make like this database for all my system prompts and client projects. And I built like an operations hub for myself, for my clients. Like, and that was, as much as that didn't seem like it was, like big vibes creatively, it's so helpful now. It's like I had the time to do it, but I was like, I wanted to do it, and like I needed something to do, like to also like push. But you gotta find creative time to do it. Like you have to find
the other thing
time.
I was gonna say is it's tough when you try to master it all.
Yeah,
that part can drive you nuts.
yeah.
I think knowing that certain things exist in some ways is good enough, right? Like I think it's almost like the matter of what is your specific lane? What is your niche? Where are your efforts best spent? I mean, I'm not going to be a master on every single tool. I'm just not. And I would be dumb to think that I could do it. at the rate that these things move and the velocity that takes place. But there's power in knowing what the current capabilities are. And if that does become a use case or an application, then I can explore it further, right? So I think it's like centering yourself on what are the things that you really are passionate about and want to do or you have to do. And just kind of like, that's where you spend the most of your time, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the unfortunate truth. We all want to do it all. It all looks cool, right?
We do. And that's the problem. Like I think there's one like really good practice you can get into if you do want to keep up with it and you do want to try it all. Like this sounds so, I don't know, boring, but having like a quick like testing protocol. Like I have a couple prompts. I wouldn't call it a protocol, but I have like a couple prompts and visuals that I go to for just about every new tool to just see if they can do it. Right? Like I use mood boards for images. Like when I'm trying to prompt for a specific mood board, I want to see if it can handle all the complexity of a mood board, like the color palettes, the textures, this, that, like all in one image, right? If it can do that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like this is useful. Same thing with videos. I'll do, test physics. I always do a prompt with like a girl dancing in a room of mirrors, because that'll just show me right away like where the flaws are. So things like that. I mean, like just to I'll do it on new models and just see like what the deal is. I have a couple of them that I run. It's just a way to feel like, is this good or bad? Like, is this going to work or is this not going to work? Or take something complex that has worked before on another tool, like something that I've done with Nano, and then apply it to Flux 2. And I'm like, didn't work. Like, all right, so I know it can't do that. Just a way to sort of like trim what's out there quick. Because I think you waste too much time trying to test everything and see if everything can work. So by the time you're done testing, there's something new. So it's a different one. Different sort of way to think about it.
Ralph just asked, sometimes I think, oh my God, how easy this all is now. How much time did I waste learning to prompt? Relate anyone? Yes. I think in some ways it feels easy because you kind of already did the hard part though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there are still plenty of times where I'm sitting in a room with people that just have no idea about anything. I mean, there's so much value in having been early, because you've kind of really put in so many reps to understand how the models interpret things, and how just the using one word and putting a different synonym in its place can completely change things, right? It's like almost the microdynamic. I think it just gives you a huge advantage. I think it also, obviously gives you the ability to describe visuals much more precisely than other people as well, right? Like there are a lot of variables that go into that. So
I wouldn't trade any of the hard stuff.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either, man. Enjoy that. If you were early, like most of us were here, it's a huge advantage. I still think there's plenty of leverage even right now. There's a lot of companies that have not even gotten started with any of this stuff. They don't have anybody in-house that even knows the first thing about doing any of this. I come from the B2B SaaS world, which is typically a little bit slower. I mean, people will straight up use the ChatGPT image generation and it looks like shit. They don't know anything about Nano Banana Pro. And if they do, they just know it by name. They don't know how to use it. They don't know anything about prompting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so we're still early. Enjoy it would be my thing.
It's all useful. All the stuff has been useful. Like all the grinding they had to go through to get something that looked good back then. Like, and I say grinding, like, I'm not like sitting here like a sketch artist, like trying to make something good and like learning over and over again. Just like it was hard to figure something out that looked good, that wasn't screwed up, that didn't have all the artifacts, that didn't have 30 fingers, right? Like that was a good like set for now. Like when we couldn't do consistent characters on anything, right? And like figuring out how to like get around that. Some of those tactics still work now. Like I use multiple image inputs as a, or like sort of contact sheets as inputs now that work as little mini LoRAs, because that's the way that we did it for characters, right? So there's always like little things that somehow keep coming back around. And I think it's good that we all had to go and sort of just like, and then also get exposed online a lot too. It was how like crappy stuff was. Like had to get beaten down a few times on stuff that didn't look good, to then get to a point where it gets better. So yeah. But I do see what you're saying though, where it's going to be way more feel like Midjourney
Yeah.
has mentioned that a few times, where it's like it's not going to be
I
prompted
know.
anymore.
I know.
Yeah,
From that standpoint, it feels like, oh shit, But I don't know. I think there are just some things that are naturally going to carry over as leverage that we know that most people won't because we were early.
yeah.
Trying to see if there's any other questions here before we wrap up. Trying to make short dance films. Weight of the movement is a bit of an issue. The movement is beautiful, but the momentum is wrong. Looks like they're moving in water. Yeah, I still not at that level, or do I just not know how to do it properly? I've tried VO3, Runway. I think Rory, would love for you to chime in here, but I think dancing specifically is still gonna be tough.
Video to video is really the only way to make it look truly authentic to what you're trying to make it look like. That's just been my experience. You can obviously tell the movements are way too smooth and polished.
Now that whole motion control thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that unlocks some things. Like that's really, really interesting. So, I would think there's some familiarity with that here, but let me just kind of show this really quickly. If not, so like this perfect example, right? Now you think about this too, like how future shows and films are like could be built. I mean, like this guy's just in a room doing all the movements. Now you can transfer the motion seamlessly. Yeah. So, what you're talking about, you almost need somebody that could do something like this, or it's got to be the right kind of dance. Like, I still think that's sort of like where we're at right now with the tech, but I would think by this time next year, that's probably gone.
Yeah. This is going to, like, video to video is going to increase, that's motion capture, really. I think that's the best way. Honestly, if you need, like, the dance to look super authentic, like, that's really the only way I would trust, because the models just aren't. They're not there. Like, if that makes sense, unless you're going to rig it with 3D.
Same.
Still,
so like motion dancing, you're taking the motion that's already there. I mean, because then you're also trying to get things on cue with music. If not like that, that's just not there. But like you could. I mean, look, you got the motion. You're just plopping it in there.
It does synchronize dance well most of the time, which is weird. Multiple people doing the same thing. It's a great prompt in Midjourney, by the way. Just synchronized dance in general.
Synchronized dance. Look at you pulling out the tokens at the end of the show.
That's it, though. Just use synchronized dance, and then you can use just run the generation, then hit auto prompt on the video, and it'll look good. I promise. Did it 1,000,000 times for a project. How do you see the creative AI scene in 5 years? Well, how about that one, Drew? You want that one?
I can't even. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know.
Thought to 3D projection.
There's got to be something where typing is no longer the thing, right?
Yeah.
And yes, we have like speech, but there's got to be some sort of quicker control to what we want. Like I said, with the GPT thing right now, like the ability to not have to think about every single prompt I'm creating is like a superpower in itself. I mean, before you had to do that stuff, right? And it's amazing how that is still held up 2 years late. I didn't really think, and any of us that have created, anybody can create those, by the way. I'm not doing anything special. But for how much effort that took versus the payoff that you got, I mean, it's insane. Right? Like, so I don't know. Like, hopefully there are some other things like that, but I have no idea what this looks like in 5 years. I have zero idea. I mean, we can barely imagine what happens in 1 year.
I think fabricating. Like, I think like the ability to go from, hey, can I have like a water bottle? And then like the water bottle just like auto 3D renders, and then we have a 3D printer, and then it's just like out in 5 seconds. Like, I think it can get there. I think we can have fabricators like that. Doesn't seem that crazy now, seeing all the tools that are available in disparate areas versus like bringing it all into one. Like 5 more years of Google innovation, like
yeah,
they have so much.
Rory, what was your biggest update of the year from 25? I think we covered this maybe last episode, but give it to me anyway.
I mean, there's like a personal and then like a business one. I would say like
both.
Personal is Weavy. Because that was, as soon as Weavy became available, I could do everything that I've wanted to do scale-wise for a really long time. And it was possible. for me easily to then translate it to the other people that I'm working with versus having to use Comfy and get like it's too complicated to get other people to do that with you. So that one, and then really Nano. I mean, I don't know, Nano Banana 2, like really the next evolution. Again, that took I would say Weavy 1, Nano Banana 2, because Weavy was the engine and Nano was the gasoline. So like that's definitely it. But it could say a million things. It could say VO3, just being like taking 6 tools and putting it into one. That was also pretty insane. But I don't use it as much as Nano or Weavy. So that's
got to be Nano for me too. Yeah. Got to be Nano for me too. I would say 1 and 2, Nano and Nano Banana Pro.
Yeah.
Nano kind of gave you, well, I mean, you could say maybe ChatGPT sort of like rolled out that capability from like an edit standpoint.
Gemini had it too. I mean, it was just like it was lower,
did it?
Lower res.
It just, I mean, but like just ChatGPT ruined me with that warm hue, and like it was very inconsistent with the direction. You only got one image at a time. You had to wait 2+ minutes for the one image. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
The Nano moment was great, right? Because it was just like, oh shit, now I can do this and I can do it fast and I can use natural language, right? It really was like that merging of LLMs and AI image models into one.
Yep.
Like that idea, which goes back to the whole thing that Rory brought up about negative prompting, which again, I think is one of the great things that we're talking about here. It's not so much even just everything that you want. Now, what don't you want? What are the constraints on it? And, you can put that into these tools now. Like that's the part we could really dial it in. And it's almost, in that sense, just as important to optimize for the negative part of the prompt than it is the actual prompt, right? So
I think about it like when you talk to your significant other and you're like, what do you want for dinner? And, when the answer is so vast, it's like, just tell me what you don't want first. It's like, okay, I don't want pizza. I don't want sushi. Okay, great. Much easier now to visualize what you don't want, what you do want. Because when there is infinite capabilities, it's like we have to start to limit it down. And there is, Nano has it. Midjourney has it. Flux has it. Seadream definitely has it. I'm trying to think, like there's a very standard look when you don't put the details in, right? Like they all want to do a certain way. Flux has flux face and a very oversaturated tone.
Go flux
Nano
yourself.
Banana has a very generic person face that they use all the time. Same thing. Like same shoulder length hair for women, brown hair, brown eyes. Like it's very constructed. Midjourney, same thing. Like there's Midjourney face.
Yeah.
So kind of gotta, and no one's overweight unless you ask for it. No one's like, everyone's sort of like the total. There's so much data now that everyone is the mean of everything. So
that's great,
right? It's just whatever the most data is out there, it's going to take that and just make it the median.
That's also been the different part of like using Nano Banana Pro versus like another model. Like, it just, like that real candid look has been dialed in now without having to like, I don't have to put like shot on an iPhone photography, shot on blah, blah, blah. Like I don't have to put 5 qualifiers in there to get it candid anymore. I can just put candid and most of the time it's basically there.
That's important. It definitely is important to have that because it's just like we used to have to jump through so many hoops to be like, just don't look at the damn camera.
Yeah.
Don't look at it. Facing left, they'd still be like, like trying to peek over the shoulder at you. I want to look.
or you'd zoom out, and all of a sudden you get side eye in there because they always throw stuff in when you zoom out. Oh my god.
Yeah. Spirit also does Nano respond well in negative prompting.
Yes.
I'm using it more so in system prompts and things like that. It does work very well for me in that sense, where it's giving the constraints as much as the do's, right? Because a lot of times I'm creating multiple prompts from one prompt. It's like, here's my idea, but I want to go like 50 different ways with it. And it's like, we don't want this to be the output. We don't want this to be the output. Don't want this to be the output. I don't want it to be centered. Like if you look at the prompts that I shared in either the Polaroid workflow or the Kodak car workflow, the one on the 9 image grid, a lot of it is like never, because I wanted to get like this real disposable camera look from it with like total amateur, not amateur, but like total non-traditional sort of angles and non-traditional lighting and non-traditional sort of like, so it's like all the things in there are never centered, never taken from a forward perfect angle, always taken from a dynamic tilt using unique cropping and framing techniques. So because most of the time all these tools, they don't like dynamic cropping. Like they want if I say I want a man in it, they want like your head to be perfect. If we're looking at the frame, they don't want
I mean,
like
I would say like with that Nano Banana, you could do it two ways, right? Like if you've got a lot of constraints, you set it up in a way of like do's, do nots. So you could do that. If it's more of like you just want to kind of have a prompt and put no's in there, you can also do that. So I'll give you like a perfect example. Like I'm doing a lot of candid shots for a client, and I know based on, for example, like visual identity, they don't like background blur. They don't want anything shallow depth of field, right? And they don't like this one. I don't want people. I just put that in the end of the prompt and does great with it. Like the coherence of that is excellent. So just a heads up. I think there's like a couple different ways that you can do that. And that's why this is a little bit different too, because it's not so intuitive in the sense that you feel like you have to get everything in a prompt format. You could have a prompt up here, right? So here's the prompt. And then you could also go down here and you say, do not ever, or do not, and then you've got a list of A, B, C, D, and, E, right? And then you've also got maybe some other subjective things, right? Like, so it's not just the prompt either from that standpoint. So this is why it's a little bit of a different thing. But I like that, like the coherence to the nose is great. Like you can build it right into the prompt. So
let me see if I have this example with the nose. Because this is actually pretty like I went pretty hard on this one. Let's see, like, is it here? I don't know if I have it in this one, but I'll try to share it in that continuity. Okay,
Vivian, you're cracking me up in the comments.
What you got?
She's just hilarious.
We got, so we have our absolute continuity requirements, character scenes. Where do I get to the, all right, only variables allowed to change. Here's like the critical instructions, the asymmetry. Subjects must never be perfectly centered, must only use like certain words in terms of framing. Reject standard portrait framing, cut off foreheads, put subject in the corner. Because like this might not be negative prompting in traditional sense, but this is me saying like I know what you're gonna do, which is make everything perfectly centered and perfectly lit and perfectly this. Like I don't want that, right? So I'm like, reject the standard framing. Like I want cropped stuff. I want weird tilted compositions. I want you to put subjects in a corner. I don't want them to be like perfectly framed. Texture shots, they can't be lifeless. They must interact with people's bodies. Let's see what else we have here. Anchor, no, this one, like reject cinematic perfection, embrace disposable camera. We want direct flash, red eye, motion blur, overexposed, like pitch black backgrounds, cut off heads, center nothing. Like I'm saying it a lot of different ways, but it's really like, to me, that's what makes these actually show up and be, get the car in the top right corner. You know what I mean? Like that allows it to get there, or, get Donald Trump with red eyes. But that's really, like, again, what I'm trying to get with here is this non-perfect type aesthetic, which is what gives it a little bit more life. Because a lot of times it just comes out like this, right? Like, that's it. That's all that comes out. Perfectly centered. If you drew an X through the middle of it or a cross through the middle of it, it's right at the perfect vanishing point there. So I think, you're just going to see a lot of people that just do the mean. It's the same thing where we started with Midjourney.
Yeah, I think that's where that, like, we kind of, somebody touched on other question, but I think like it's that idea of having a visual profile for the brand or the project or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What are the do's? What are the do nots? What is the personality, right? And then work everything backwards from that, because the default is what everybody else is going to get. And let me see if we have any other questions here. We're running real long. Probably gonna wrap this baby up. I think that's probably it. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for sticking with us, Rory.
Super cool. This is great. You guys rocked in
LinkedIn didn't mess this up.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was great. There was so much interaction. Like I saw there was stuff going on, like not even like asking us questions, just going on like full conversation mode. Sick. So much fun. You guys are awesome. Thank you for listening to this stuff, by the way, for tuning in to our podcast.
We also do a podcast. Yeah, we do this podcast every week. It's not always on LinkedIn Live, but you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify. Midjourney Fast Hour is the name of the podcast. We try to drop every week. We go into deep stuff. We're talking about current tools, our process, our workflows, things that we like, things that we don't like, all that good stuff. So
let me drop that link in here. So even if it's not there, let's drop it in.
Ooh, there you go.
Look at us. Or you guys can just comment podcast and we'll reply to you later. I'm kidding. So please don't. We're not doing that.
Make it gated.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Here's our MJFH podcast.
All right, so we'll drop that in there. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Yeah, we'll be here next week. We'll go into detail on the rest of it. Regarding Midjourney V8 upcoming, new UI upcoming, so just be prepared for that. Midjourney also in their office hours just mentioned that whichever comes first is whichever one they're going to drop. So there's a world where we could get the new UI and then V8. There's a world where we get V8 and then there's a whole new UI and we got to figure out how to use it. So just be prepared for that. That's coming up, and we'll keep you guys in the loop on how to work through all of that. We'll probably do a live walkthrough once that drops, so no one's lost. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. See ya.
Thanks, guys.